Welcome to Traders Expo 2017 here in New York City. I'm Matt McCall, joined by Cody Willard from TradingWithCody.com. I called him a legend first time. I'm a little tired, so I can't come up with another synonym for you.
Loser?
You have one? You're no loser.
Come on.
Come on. You're amazing what you do.
Oh, thank you. Flip it.
Well, actually, I'm going to hold it too. So next year, I'm going to get some ideas from you in the next couple of minutes. So I'm going to maybe hold those too.
I might end up being a loser after I give it the ideas.
So you like revolution investing, right? You look for the big picture, looking at what themes are in the market. Let me share one, and I want to get your thought on this. Everybody talks Internet of Things, but what I've been looking to lately, sensors and controls, because they have all these Internet of Things have sensors and controls. Anything you're looking at in that area?
Good question. Not in the sensor and controls specifically right now. IoT and more specifically RFID. Yep. Let's sort of pin into that because I think they're related. Impinge, PI. It's a smaller cap stock, very volatile, very risky. It's not like it's a top 5 position for me. But I do think Impinge over the next 5 or 10 years could become a de facto standard. And what Impinge does, it's RFID, it's radio frequency identification, and it's basically some passive little stuff you put on a dollar bill or on a package or on a receipt or where in a clothing item or whatever it is, and you're able to take instant inventory of everything in there using a tool that you're sort of asking about. Yeah. That's not necessarily measuring, but you are taking that inventory. I think if that becomes a de facto standard, it could really have a lot of upside over the next 5 or 10 years. If it fails to become a de facto standard, it'll be down 70%. Yeah. Let's see. You caught me off guard with the IoT thing. I wasn't expecting.
Let's go somewhere else.
Well, I think a big part of everything right now is Nvidia. Yeah. I think the idea of self-driving cars, artificial intelligence, and deep learning in the data center, it's not just about taking market share from Intel in the data center or something. The amount of chips that go into each of the Nvidia products and the platform that they've built for self-driving cars alone, if you've got those kinds of numbers of chips, hundreds of Nvidia chips in most every car in 5 years from now, and you sell 14 million cars, you're talking billions of chips from Nvidia alone. It could be $1 trillion company. I'm certainly not going to throw that number out there lightly, but it could triple or quadruple or go up 5 times again from here. It's already tripled since I bought it recently, and if they've got that kind of growth ahead of it in those $1 trillion markets, and they end up a dominant player in those markets, I mean that's a huge. Are you
concerned about competition or becoming almost like a commodity, these chips?
Yeah, I think the commoditization of the semiconductor/chip sector has been overhyped and overfocused on. Rather, even like Micron has been allowed to roll up, Micron, Samsung, Toshiba roll up all of their competitors, and even in like DRAM, which is truly used to be a commoditized business, it's no longer commoditized because they collude in their pricing. You got an oligopoly state in that industry, and in most chip industries, whether it's even in the AMAT and the applied materials and the companies and the industries that sell equipment to the semiconductors guys, all of those have rolled up and the margins have been sustained and there's still growth there. I actually feel like looking back over the last 5 years, I mistakenly bought into the commoditization of the chip world and it didn't happen.
Yeah,
they reverse happen.
Anything on chips, everything that you talk about with the big revolution investing, I feel like there's chips involved in everything you talked about.
There absolutely
So you're seeing demand for chips coming from a lot of different areas.
And one of the reasons why over the years, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, some of these other companies that I've made a lot of money in my portfolio with trading with Cody people and whatnot, our biggest wins have actually not been chip related until Nvidia recently. And part of that is the margins on services, Internet of Things, being a iTunes of App Store. Those are 100% gross margins, or very high gross margins. Chips, even in the best case, are 60, 70% gross margins, and that's just not, that's a 30% less than what you're getting on a software business. The app revolution, everything FaceSpec sells, much higher margin than everything Nvidia sells.
So, Nvidia obviously still like it.
Yes.
Buying on weakness?
I'm not in a rush. But yeah, it's one of those, if you've got a time horizon of 5 or 10 years, you probably want to buy a 1/3 position to start, give yourself a few weeks. If it drops to 80, 85, 90, it's dropped from 120 to 100 in the last few weeks. Certainly could drop to 80 in the next few weeks. Certainly could go back to 120. So give yourself a little bit of space. If you're looking to make 500 or 600% in this stock over the next 5 or 10 years, whether it's up or down 20% from your first purchase, probably isn't that big a deal. Just slowly scale into it over the next few weeks and write it out if you think this actually is a revolution like I do.
It's a great strategy. So before we let you go, what are you looking to buy now? Maybe something on your watch list, something you bought recently?
I bought puts on the IWM today.
Really?
Yeah, I'm hedging myself a little bit. I've took some profits on Apple. My trading with Cody subscribers and we've owned Apple since March 2003, but we were buying more and even some call options in Apple back 13, 14 months ago when it was at 90. Now at 135, and I sold 10% of my Apple last week. I bought some IWM puts, small cap ETF puts on Friday, and bought some more again today.
Short term?
Dated out to August. I'm giving myself 6 or 7 months here to allow them to play out. Look, it's not like I said earlier in our prior interview, it's not like I think the bubble blowing bull market's over. Yeah. But you've had a 25% run in every major index. You've got stocks that have doubled and tripled, even crappy companies over the last 90, 120 days, the Trump rally, if that's what you want to call it. Whatever the cause of that rally is, at some point, that just exhausts itself too. I think valuations are extended. I think the momentum's extended. Let's catch our breath a little bit, and then hopefully I can scale into some of my favorite companies on the next crash in the next 6 months.
Look at you being all aggressive trying to call it a top. I love it, Cody Willard. I thought you got conservative in your old age. You didn't.
Never conservative.
Check him out. Trading with Cody. Cody Willard, thank you so much.
The revolution. Thanks.